7 Servant Leadership Tips. Leadership is not about being in charge, it's about taking care of those in your charge. Simon Sinek. Welcome to Unlimited Human Capital, your channel for becoming a wiser, more meaningful, and more human-centered leader. In today's video, we'll dive into 7 servant leadership tips that can transform not only how you lead, but also how your team, organization, and even your family perceive your presence. Tip 1. Listen deeply. Speak last. Great leaders aren't always the ones who speak the most. They're the ones who listen the deepest. Listening with intention creates space for empathy. Your team doesn't just want to be managed, they want to be heard. As Stephen R. Covey said, most people do not listen with the intent to understand, they listen with the intent to reply. Let that sink in. How often do we find ourselves talking, sharing a worry, a new idea, or even a cry for help? But the person in front of us is just waiting for their turn to speak. They're not really listening, they're preparing to respond, defend, or impress. But real leadership starts with presence. True listening is not about waiting for silence so you can talk again. It's about holding space for someone else to feel seen. In leadership, when we listen deeply, we build stronger trust, safer teams, healthier relationships, and better decisions. Imagine this: a team member walks into your office, their voice hesitant, their eyes tired. Instead of giving quick advice, you pause. You look at them, you just listen. No rush, no judgment. And in that sacred moment, you're no longer just a manager. You're a human, offering presence. Even Prophet Muhammad, the greatest leader of all time, was known to give his full attention to people, no matter who they were. So today, start listening not to reply, but to truly understand. Practical tips. Begin session with open floor sharing. Use active listening skills. Paraphrase, validate. Take notes, not just to record, but to remember. Tip 2. Put people first. Servant leaders don't just prioritize results, they prioritize people. Take care of your people, they will take care of the business. Richard Branson. This quote sounds simple, but it's a game changer. When you genuinely care about your people, not just their output, but their well-being, they'll repay you with loyalty, passion, and ownership. A business isn't just about strategy or innovation, it's about the humans who drive it. When a team member is seen as a number, they will act like a number. But when they're seen as a person, they rise to become more than their job. Imagine a culture where a leader knows the names of their employees' families, gives time off during grief, and says hello every morning with sincerity. That's not weakness, that's strength. People-first leadership builds long-term loyalty, resilient culture, emotional investment from your team. Remember, profit grows when people grow. Practical tips. Schedule regular one-on-ones. Support mental and emotional well-being. Offer flexible work options when possible. Tip 3. Lead with integrity. Trust is the currency of leadership, and integrity is how you earn it. O you who have believed, why do you say what you do not do? Quran, As-Saf 2-3. These powerful verses remind us, do not preach what you can't practice. A servant leader doesn't just talk about values, they embody them. They don't demand punctuality and show up late. They don't preach care but disappear when the team needs support. Integrity is being consistent even when no one's watching. When your words and actions align, people trust you. When they don't, you lose the right to lead. Great leaders walk the talk. They act first, then invite others to follow. Practical tips. Model ethical behavior. Admit mistakes with humility. Align decisions with your core values. Tip 4. Empower others to grow. A leader is great not because of his power, but because of his ability to empower others. John C. Maxwell. True leaders create leaders, not followers. If you're always the smartest in the room, you're limiting the growth of others. Empowerment means trusting your team with real responsibilities, allowing room to fail, and helping them learn through it. Let go of control. Let your team grow, even if they become better than you. When they succeed without you, that's not your weakness, that's your legacy. Practical tips. Delegate decision-making, not just tasks. Provide coaching, not micromanaging. Recognize effort, not just outcomes. Tip 5. Have a clear, meaningful vision. A servant leader doesn't just know where they're going, they invite their team to believe in it too. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Simon Sinek. People are drawn to purpose. They want to feel part of something meaningful, not just efficient. Think of Apple. People don't just buy tech, they buy a belief in innovation. Think of your organization. If your team can't repeat your vision with pride, then you haven't cast it clearly enough. Purpose fuels passion. Vision gives meaning to the small daily tasks. Practical tips. Repeat your vision often, in every format. Connect daily goals to the bigger mission. Make your why emotionally compelling. Tip 6. Serve with humility, not ego. The best of you is those who are most beneficial to others. Prophet Muhammad. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. Great leaders don't chase titles, they chase impact. They don't demand praise, they lift others to shine. In a world that celebrates dominance, servant leaders stand out because they're grounded. Calm, confident without arrogance. Humility is strength under control. It's the quiet power of a leader who doesn't need the spotlight because their team is thriving in it. Here's the truth: ego blocks connection. It shuts doors, builds walls, and limits growth. But humility, it opens hearts, builds bridges, and transforms leadership into a shared journey. Imagine a CEO who joins the team for lunch, asks questions like a student, and doesn't pretend to know everything. Now imagine the culture that grows around that kind of leader. Practical tips. Give credit often, take blame when needed. Ask for feedback regularly and really mean it. Lead with the mindset. How can I serve today? Tip 7. Lead by example. Even when it's hard, when pressure rises, character is revealed. Setting an example is not the main means of influencing others. It is the only means. Albert Einstein. Your actions teach more than any meeting, speech, or memo ever could. Want your team to be disciplined? Show up early. Want them to care about quality? Obsess over the little details. Want them to stay calm under pressure. Be the peace in the storm. Anyone can lead when things are easy, but true leadership shows up when it's hard. When budgets are tight, when deadlines feel impossible, when people are losing hope. It's in those moments that servant leaders rise, not with fear or blame, but with calm, courage, and clarity. You become the thermostat, not the thermometer. You set the temperature of the room. You decide the culture, the pace, and the energy. So lead not just with words, but with footsteps. People want to follow. Practical tips. Take responsibility during setbacks. Stay calm under fire. It gives your team permission to breathe. Model the behavior you want to see every single day. Final closing narration. Let's recap the 7 servant leadership tips that can redefine the way you lead. Listen deeply, speak last, put people first, lead with integrity, empower others to grow, have a clear, meaningful vision, serve with humility, not ego, lead by example. Even when it's hard, leadership is not about power, perks, or position. It's about purpose, presence, and people. The best leaders don't build empires, they build others. So, which tip spoke to you the most today? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want more content like this video, comment below, share with your team or leader, subscribe to Unlimited Human Capital, because in every human, there's a leader worth unlocking. Until next time, lead with love, serve with strength, and stay human.